Welcome to Letters to Rising Leaders. It's a podcast series about God, soul, love, and leadership. And I'm your host, Tom Mohr. If you're following along with my book, Letters to Rising Leaders, this is week 7, and the topic is Holy Winds. Now, as I said in our first podcast, for the first 13 weeks, we're reckoning with the question, who is God? In January, for the first 5 weeks of the podcast, we took up God the Father. Now here we are in February, and we're taking up Spirit God, Holy Spirit God. And Holy Winds speaks to one of the manifestations of the Holy Spirit. So in the Bible, the Holy Spirit is expressed in the manifestations of fire, of wind, of water, and of oil. And we touched a little bit on fire last week. I want to talk about wind. And wind is a wonderful metaphor for the Holy Spirit because we can receive Holy Spirit God through a breath, a whisper, a breeze, or a gale. In our lives, there's these moments where Spirit God gives us a nudge, leads us in a direction, whispers something to us. Have you ever had those kinds of experiences? I have. Now, it's hard these days. We live in a world that is filled with digital distractions. Facebook and Instagram and, TikTok and, text from this and email from that and breaking news. We're barraged by this constant digital river that is coming at us all the time. And we don't live in a world anymore where sacred space is created in our week. Going to church every week is something that certainly for my parents was something pretty much everybody did. Most people did. Or, church or synagogue or temple, whatever faith. But we don't live in that kind of a world anymore. We have to create it ourselves. We have to create those boundaries and find that time, because sometimes God will be speaking to us, but we're not listening. Spirit God comes to us often in a breath, in a whisper, and it takes us being in a place or a mindset where we can be tuned in order to hear that call from God. I myself have had all of the experiences of, the whisper, the breeze, the gale. I had a major faith moment in my life when I was young, just out of college, and was coming back from the store in a driving rainstorm to this place I was staying with a bunch of folks, college friends that I was living with and working with. And I was off kilter. I was not in a good place in my life. I was sort of stuck in a bad pattern. And this driving rainstorm was all around me. And as I pulled into the parking lot, I felt this enormous sense of dread. And sure enough, I got out of the car and I was hit by lightning and knocked to the ground unconscious. And I felt my heart beating so quickly it was like a snare drum. And I calmed myself down and somehow managed to get myself into that townhouse. And that really was a starting point for a slow and stumbling and imperfect journey back towards Jesus. After years of being alienated from God, God comes to us in breath, in whisper, in breeze, and sometimes in gale or storm. And he then leaves it up to us to choose how we will respond. My encouragement to you, good leader, is to always make yourself open to the movement of the Holy Spirit within you, whether it be in that tiny little whisper or in the storm, and to come back to God, come back to Him, and seek renewal and clarity and forgiveness so that you can move forward with the next stage of your life. It's time for the song for this week, and that song is called Something's Changing. I hope you enjoy it. Here it is.
My heart flutters at your touch, like a breeze upon my face, like a whispered light embrace. Your breath ripples in my soul, like waves upon the shoals, making me more whole. Something's changing, I know, but where will it all go? If I can't see where you're leading me, I want to take it slow. Yet my heart rises to your breeze, coming off the crashing seas, setting all the captives free, like me. My arms stretch out open wide on the ragged cliffs of time, watching all the eagles rise so high. I am changing, yes, I'm changing, surprised by a joy I've never known. Each day I sense you calling me, teaching me I'll never be alone. My heart bravely meets the gale, lashing at the sails. You are with me, Lord, so I can't fail. Fill my lungs in this time and place, until I've run the race and can soar into the sky on the wings of your grace. All I am is yours. All I am is yours. All I am is yours. Breathe me in.
All we are is yours, God. Breathe us in. Well, that's it for today. I hope you'll join us next week for the next episode in this Letters to Rising Leaders podcast series. As I say each week, leader of goodness, go in faith to love and heal the world.